Josh with CryoHeat to answer another question about how I balance pistons. So you can see on the underside, you can see where it's been ground down a little bit. Cameraman, can you see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then this one's the same, this one's the same, and this one's the same. Now this style of piston, the skirting is very similar, so it makes my job a little bit easier. But when the rod is in the piston, like this here, the piston is going to have a natural rocking to it, and it can actually rock very, very little inside the cylinder. However, I try my best to, when I balance these pistons, I try my best to find a point where I can have it teeter-totter, and you can see like the backing, the cutting for the valve relief on the pistons. One side of this piston is going to be lighter than the other side, and so naturally you can see how much more volume is here on this side compared to this side. So you would assume that this side might be lighter than this side, and so I'll get it set up where I can actually find center and get it to teeter-totter and see what side is lighter. That's the side that I will not be removing the material first. So if this was the lighter, or I'm sorry, if this is the lighter side, then I won't grind on this side in here. I'll grind on this side first to try to get that balance just right, and that will help keep from the skirts dragging a little extra hard on the cylinder walls. That's why companies make their pistons, or aftermarket companies are putting coatings on pistons and stuff like that. This engine here is not going to that far of detail. Some of our engines, we do all kinds of coatings on the skirts. We do ceramics on the top of the piston to keep the heat out from the bottom to the, in the chamber, and keep the heat out of the bottom end. But that's how we do our balancing. So it's finding which piston is the lightest piston of 4 pistons for a 4-cylinder, and then start working on these pistons to get them so they can actually balance out, but never going too far beyond, like, let's say if this was the lightest piston, let's say it was 319.09 grams, then that would mean that this one here would be heavier, and I start taking weight off them, and then also try to get them balanced. Now, I actually had to remove more weight to help this one come into more of a balance from it rocking so much. So I think I took off probably like, I don't know, 5 to 8 grams out of this piston to get it to where I wanted it to be, and then I started chasing these 3 pistons down to this number. And that's how I balance pistons.